Hello everyone, welcome back to the table. We're going to start off with part 3 of our old school tactical from Flying Pig game, sorry. It's a singular, not plural. The Shayne Logan design, a Mark Walker game. This is volume 2, the Western Front. Our scenario is the Hedgerow clash. And we are starting turn 4. We finished turn 5 in the last video. Let's go to our sequence of play there, our turn sequence. Turn marker, we're going to move to 4. Reinforcements, there are none. Attach leaders and weapons. Well, there's a little bit we want to do here. We want this rifle squad to pick up this light machine gun here, so they're going to do that. Let's see, he's still got the bar squad attached. They've got the bar squad. He's got the mortar squad. I think he'll want to switch, even though the squad's shaking. He'll want to switch and attach to the bar squad. Who's shaking up here? It's a rifle with the light. Probably want to do the same thing there. Although that just confuses things. Let's do this way. You probably need to do that this way because that looks like that other rifle squad is shaking, which he is not. They've got the Panzerfaust and a rifle. Okay, so we've got everybody attached. Next up, smoke counters, we have none. There are no scenario rolls since free rally bog rolls. We do have some of those. The Americans have a shaking squad here. He's got a leader in there. So to get out of shaking, remember you have to roll a 7 or greater. And then with the leader, it's going to be a 6 or greater. So he needs a 6 or better to become unshaken. He didn't quite make it. So he is still shaken, and the leader is attached to him. Over here, the Germans have a shaken half squad, and there's also a leader, so they're going to need a 6 also. And they got it. They got the 6. So they are not shaken any longer. And I'm going to go ahead and put them back that way. All right, that should finish up our rally rolls. Next, we've got the initiative roll. And looks like the Americans are going to have the initiative this turn. Let's change this counter over. Americans have initiative, and then we're going to do our impulse rolls. Remember, the Americans have 2d6 plus 4. The Germans have 2d6. Oh, Germans are going to be hurting this time. they just have 2 impulse points. They're going to get run over. And the Americans have 14. 14 for the Americans, 2 for the Germans. That's going to hurt. Okay, so the Americans have the initiative. They get to go first. And they have a lot of impulse points. Okay, I kind of messed up. I went back and reread the rules. Infantry can fire if they're adjacent to the bocage. They can fire through it all the way up till their line of sight. Tanks cannot do that. Tanks are kind of like a building. Remember, if we're in a building, you can't fire through the bocage. Even infantry can't do that. So he's going to have to move to do anything. Still attack here, but he's going to have to move to get anything different. But I don't think that's the most important thing to do for them right now. I think either here or here probably are the shots to take. This is probably going to be the most effective. So I think we're going to do that. He's got a 5 shot plus 1 because he's adjacent. So he's got a 6. These guys have a 4 and a 5 defense with the cover. So you have a 6 versus a 5, so you have a plus 1. You're on the plus 1 column. And he got 7. He does not have a leader with him, so you got a 7 on the plus 1. And if we look, 7 on the plus 1 is a broken result. And as you can see, the Germans passed with an 11. So that makes him fired. That uses 1 impulse point. So they're down to 13. Now, the Germans have 2 impulse points. What are they going to do? I think we're going to come over here. He's going to take a shot. He's got a 3, and he's going to go ahead and shoot that Panzerfaust. So that'll be 4 against a 6. 4 and then 2 for the bocage. It's going to be actually 5 because he is adjacent. So a 5, 6, he's going to be on the minus 1 column. So a minus 1 shot. And 9 on the minus 1 is a casualty. So he's going to casualty reduce these guys. And he is fired. And that is 1 impulse. They have 1 left. Okay. Back to the Americans. I think he's going to take a second shot there. That's going to cost 1 impulse point. He will be used. He has a 5, 6 versus, oh, I messed up while ago, didn't I? Yeah, it didn't affect anything. I forgot to count the bocage for these guys because there is bocage in between there. So he's shooting this. He's got a 6 firepower against a 4, 5, 6 for the bocage and 1 for the cover. So a 7. Right? Is that where we were? 6 or 7? I think we're on a plus 1 a while ago. So he's on a minus 1 column. Minus 1 shot. And that's going to do some damage. It's 11 on the -1. 11 on the -1 is a casualty and a broken, and he did fail with a 4. He failed the broken check, so he is casualty reduced and broken. So first we go there, then we go there. And they're down to 11 impulse points. Okay, Germans have one more impulse point left. Oh, what to do, what to do. I think we're going to go ahead and move these guys. Now, I think they're just going to, nobody can see them. They're going to stay there. Germans just going to pass. Because they're only going to get one shot at somebody coming at them. So, Germany's going to pass back to the Americans. I think this leader here is going to call in that OBA. He's going to call it in right on these guys. So, if we look at our scenario, they have one artillery strike available to them. Now, I want to briefly look at artillery strike. You have to roll an accuracy check first, and for guns, for artillery, the accuracy is 5, so you have to get a 5 or a 6 to be accurate. If you're not accurate, then you roll for direction and number of hexes that it's off target. But I can't remember. I think it's, oh, okay, it's a 6. It's a 6 firepower in the center hex, and then 3 firepower against all the surrounding hexes. And they still get whatever defenses they have. Okay, so first we roll. I'm going to roll for accuracy. Then I need a 5 or 6. And then we've got direction and distance. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to roll all 3 of these at once. Okay, this is going to be our accuracy. Green is accuracy, direction, distance. If I can remember that after I roll it. Okay, it is accurate, so we don't even have to worry about the other 2. So that OBA lands right there. And it's going to be a 6 attack there and then a 3 attack everywhere else. And I believe they're in a building, so there's a chance that it could collapse it even. Okay, so they've got a 6 attack, and everybody in here is attacked separately. And they all have, well, they've got a 3 defense. The other 2 have a 4 defense. Plus, the structure is a +1. Okay, so starting at the top with the leader, we have a 6 versus a 5, right? Yeah, 4, 5. So 6 versus a 5. So on the +1 column, 4 on the +1, I don't believe it's going to do anything. 4 on the +1, nope, that does nothing. So going down to the next one, he's also have a 5 still on the +1, and 8 on the +1 is a casualty. Okay, and he is already reduced, so he goes away, and that raises the casualty points up to 5. So that means on the next turn the Germans will be a -1 on their impulse points. If I can remember that. I put a dice over there to remind me, but we'll see. Okay, so that machine gun now is just kind of laying there. The second line is a 3 and a so a 3 and a 4, 6. So they've got a +2 shot. That's what they're going to have against them. So +2, and 8 on the +2. We can see is another casualty. So that's going to casually reduce those guys. And we're just going to go ahead and put that light machine gun up top to remind me that nobody is possessing it right now. Okay, so even though they can't see the sniper, he's still going to take the hit. So he's in the woods. He's got a defense of 5. And the woods gives you a 6. And it's a 3 attack. So it's on the -3 column. So, 12 on the -3. It's probably going to do some damage. 12 on the -3 is a casualty shaken. Casualty eliminates a single person counter. They don't really have a flip side. I mean, they do have something on the other side, but there's nothing there. So the sniper goes away. That is another casualty point. Okay, now they're going to attack the second line, and they're just out in the open. So they've got a 3 defense, 3, so it's an even shot. So on the evens, ooh, boy, that is one effective barrage there. And 11 on the even is going to eliminate. So they're gone, and now there's a Panzerfaust laying out there in the road, and that is another 2 points of casualty. So they are up to 8 already. Not looking good for the Germans. I played this scenario before playing the American. That's the reason I'm playing the Germans this time, to see how it went. And I won it with the Americans too. So they just kind of have a pretty good force coming in. Okay, so that is all of that OBA. The OBA marker stays there because everybody stays the same. Sorry, I forgot to turn my phone silent. If anybody happens to move into there, they would take that damage, but obviously that's not going to happen because there's nobody left over there. Okay, so that was the Americans that used a point there down to 10. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, so Germans have one left, and still don't think they're going to do anything. So we go back to the Americans. Let's take let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That wouldn't be too smart. I'm trying to think where I can move these guys. Or maybe even these. I think of what I'm going to do. I'm going to use one. That's going to take them down to 9. I'm going to use one and try to rally these guys again. So they need a 7. With the leader, they would need a 6. Got it. So they are no longer shaken. I want to go ahead and move these guys around here. Yeah. Okay. Back to the Germans. I don't think the Germans still want to do anything. So they're not. We're going to wait. Back to the Americans. It may be beneficial to move this tank in a position where it can do some shooting. So for one impulse point, I'll move him down to 8. He's going to move. His movement factor is 6. So he's going to do there for 1, there for 2, and he can use a free turn. There for 3. Let's see, let me see. They may just want to do an overrun on those guys once they're broken. Get to defend themselves. You know what? He doesn't even have to. He doesn't have to move. He can. He can see those guys. Yeah, he got a good line of sight at them. So he's just going to take a shot. He's got 2 on the machine gun, 3 on the turret for HE. So basically, he's got a 5. Now, what I can't remember is do they have to take separate shots for those 2 things? That I don't know. Well, they have to get it to hit when they're firing at another target. Don't see. Trying to see what their You know, I don't see anything about. I don't want to have you just sitting there waiting. So we're just going to do it. I may be wrong, but he's got the 3, 5. He's got a total of 5 firepower, 8 HE firepower, and he's shooting at a 4 and a 5 and cover. So basically, it's an even shot. And he is going to be fired. Okay, so an even shot. Uh, 6 on the even is a shaken result. And he's already broken, so he can't go any more. He can't go any further than that. 2 shakens equals a broken, but broken, the only thing you have from there is casualty, so they don't suffer anything. So that's fired. Okay, back to the Germans. Germans still don't want to do anything, I don't believe. So back to the Americans. Going to use one more impulse. That's down to 7. He's going to shoot again, so he's going to be used. 5 against 5, another even shot. 9 on the even, that's probably going to be a result of some type. 9 on the even is a casualty reduction. I believe he's already casualty reduced. Yes, he is. So he's eliminated. That is another, or up to 9 casualty points. Okay, back to the Germans. Germans aren't going to do anything. Back to the Americans. Boy. I think these guys are going to move the stack. They're going to spend 2 impulse points. And crossing both colleges 2, moving the houses 2, so they are there for 4, and they are moved. Germans. Probably the only shot they're going to have, so they're going to take that shot, use their last impulse point. That is a wooden building. So he's got a 4, a 6, against a 4 and a 5. 1 for the house. So 6 versus 5, he's got a +1 shot. He's fired. +1 shot. $10 on the +1. That's actually going to be an 11 because there isn't a leader. There is a leader there. So an 11 on the +1 is an elimination. And I didn't announce it, but again, we're always going for the most powerful one. That's going to be the guy with the bar. So that squad's eliminated. Bar is now unpossessed. He's eliminated. The Germans go up to 4 casualty points. And we need to roll for the leader. Leader had a had an elimination. So 1 through 3, he's eliminated. Oop. Let me check that. Let me check that. Casualty I know 1 through 3 is the thing. Let's see. Leader casualty roll, unit destroyed, a roll of 1 to 3, leaders destroyed. Okay. I knew 1 to 3 was one is either good or bad, so that was bad. So that leader is also destroyed. That moves the Germans up to 5 casualty points and means the Americans also are going to have a -1 on their next impulse total. Okay. So we come back to the Germans. No, Germans fired, sorry. Back to the Americans. What are they going to do? Basically, the Germans can't do a single thing right now. Not right now. So they need to just move, I think. Let's just start with these guys. 1, 2, 3. You know, he's just going to get brave. He's got that German machine gun. He's thinking he's pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He's just going to move right up there and get right in their face. He is moved. That is down their impulse down to 4. Germans are out. Back to the Americans. See, that would be 2 to move them, 2 to move them, 1 to move them. So I can't move everybody. It's pretty much a lost cause. It's another deal. Whereas if I was playing the Germans, I'd say, okay, I think I'm whooped at this point. But we're going to keep playing. Let's see. We may just move these guys up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Move up there. It won't be in line of sight of him at all. Really, you won't be able to shoot at anybody. I don't know if that does any good. Let's just go across the hedgerow for 2 and then to the, that'd be 3. I don't want to move him out in the open, so he's just going to go there. He's moved down to, down to 3 movement impulse points. Yeah, a little bit of a glare on that one, don't I? Usually don't have that. Okay. Again, the Germans can't do anything. Back to the Americans. With 3 impulse points, I can move 3 squads. So I can move 1 stack and 1 squad out of another stack. This would be a good stack to move. Just trying to think where I might want to put them. 2, 3. I think we're going to go 2, 3, and 4. We'll have at least a shot there. So they moved. That is 2. They have 1 left. I think we're going to move this squad by himself. 2, 3, 4. He's going to move into that cover hex and get ready to assault over here. Okay, that was their last impulse. We are out of impulses. So we go back to our turn sequence. No melee. Remove unit markers. So that's going to be all of these guys. moved, 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 used. I don't need that over there. OBA is gone. Oh, yeah, something I forgot on the OBA. That may have damaged the structure. Structure collapse. Let's see. The hex structure type OBA, airstrike is 1d6. Light structures collapse on a roll of 5 or 6. Okay, so we do need to do that. So, does the structure collapse? No, it does not. Okay, so that does that. We go back to our turn sequence. We remove the unit markers, score victory points. There aren't any victory points to score at this time. End of turn. And it's not the last turn, so we go back to the beginning. Turn marker goes down to 3. We're on turn 3 now. Reinforcements, none. Attach leaders and weapons. Okay. This rifle company is going to pick up this Browning automatic rifle. The second line squad's going to pick up that machine gun, light machine gun. I don't believe we need to do anything in here. I shot his Panzerfaust last turn, so that goes away. Those are a one-shot tool. Okay. I think that is all of the leader's weapons. No smoke counters, no scenario rolls, free rally bog rolls. Well, I don't believe anybody is shaken or broken or bogged. Nope. Oops. Okay. Initiative rolls and then impulse rolls. Okay, so initiative. Whoops. I roll that over. I grabbed the wrong color die. Okay. Initiative. The Americans are going to have the initiative. And impulses. Germans will have 6. Americans will have 11. 6 and 11. Still not looking good. And let's see. Play turns. Okay. Oh, good grief. Tell you, my memory shot. I don't remember who had the initiative. It was the Germans. Yep. Okay. That's what I'm going with. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm telling you, it sucks to get older, people. Believe me. That's why it's like every time I pull out a game, even though I may have played it multiple times in the past, it's still I got to go over the rules again because I just don't remember everything anymore. That's just the way it is. But I still love it. So we're going to go Germans first. They have 6 impulse points to the Americans 11. So they have less, so they can pass. However, I don't think they want to at this point. These guys want to shoot. So they've got a 4 and a 6, 7 because they're adjacent with the +1 die roll modifier against a 4. So 7 against a 4 is a +3 with a +1. +3 with the +1. 5. Not going to probably be much. 5 on the +3. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a broken. All right. Broken and roll a 7, so they pass the broken check. They pass the gut check. In case you didn't see it, there's a 4 and a 3 for the American roll. So 7, they passed. So the Germans have used one impulse and they have fired. Okay, next up is the Americans. And he moved up here for a reason. So he's just going to go right in there and that'll keep them from doing anything else. He's going to move in there and they will be in melee. So we'll get to see how melee works. Provided I can remember. I'm sure I'll have to remind myself in the rules again. Okay. That was an assault move, so that was still 1, so they're down to 10. 1 impulse. Back to the Germans. Boy. They're going to shoot. He's got a 2 and a 4 with the light machine gun. Shooting at a 4 of 5. So he's in the -1 with a +1 for the leader. Firing here. That will have them fired. That will reduce them to 4 impulse points. So -1. -1 on the -1 column with the +1. 9, a 10 on the -1. Wait a second, did I do that wrong? I think it's a +1 actually, isn't it? No, 4. 4, 5. No, it's -1. -1, 10 on the -1 is a casualty and a shaken. And we can see that they did not pass. That's a 3, because you can't see it. They did not pass the shaken, so they are casualty reduced and shaken. That moves them to 6, and I forgot again, as I usually do, to reduce the impulses. Both sides have a -1 impulse, so the Germans are at 3 now, and the Americans are at 9. Supposed to do that first, but again, I don't remember everything. Okay, Germans have fired. Back to the Americans. These guys are going to spend 1. That'll take them down to 8. They're going to be 1, 2, 3. Well, that's as far as they can go. It costs 2 to enter the building, so they can't get into it. So they've moved. Back to the Germans. They have 3. They're going to spend 1 impulse down to 2, and they're going to move 2 to there. That is him moved. Okay, back to the Americans. Eric's going to spend 1, move to 7 on the impulses. He's going to move out here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to stop. That is him moved. And we'll go back to the Germans. They have 2 impulse points left. He's going to take a shot. So he's going to be used. That means 1 impulse left. So he has a 3, firing at a 4 in the open. So he's a -1 on the -1 column. And he got a 10. That could do something. 10 on the -1 is a casualty and a shaken. And you can see that they passed with the 6 and 4. They passed their shaken roll. So they're casualty reduced. That's these guys here. Casualty reduced. That moves the Germans up to 7. And back to the Americans. Oh, let's see. I think this rifle squad, we're going to spend 1. That takes them down to 6. They're going to start moving. 1. That's 2. I think his range is 4. He's within range there, so he's going to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's going to take that shot. It is right down the hex spine, so this blocks, but this one's open, so they both have to be blocked to block it. But I'm pretty sure it degrades it. I'm not even gonna look it up. It seems like I remember that. When you play so many, especially World War II, you play so many games, and especially at the tactical level, that's my favorite level. I'm not big on the strategic level. So many of the rule sets start to run together. I mean, I still remember things from Advanced Squad Leader that I haven't played in years, but I still remember some of that stuff. Amazingly enough. So some things stick in your head, but I am pretty sure that if one is blocking and the other one's open, it's a degrading. So that's gonna take away, gonna reduce the firepower by 1. So he's gonna have a 2, a 4. So it's gonna be a 3 firepower against a 4 defense. So a -1 with a +1. -1 column with a +1 die roll modifier. 7, 8 on the -1. 8 on the -1 is a shaken. And as you can see, he got a 7, so he passed that, passed his gut check. So these guys are used. That was their last impulse point. He's moved 1. Should have marked it with the die. No, he's moved 2. I'm sorry. We'll start here. Moved 2, 3, 4. And he's moved. Okay, so the Germans are out. So basically the Americans are free to move however they may want to. So let's see, they have 6 left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can move everybody. Okay. I think Sergeant Barnes with his other, with the mortar. No, the mortar doesn't do much good from there. Engineers can only move 3. And they're blocked there. Be 2, 3, be 3 just to get there. I think you go 1, 2, 3 and move up there. These guys can move 4, but they again have both cars they have to cross, so I think they need to move towards the objectives, the control points for sure. So let's see, 2, 3. I think they will. Let's go 2, 3, 4. That moves them down to 5. They've moved. Germans can't do anything. Back to the Americans. What about over here? That costs 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's standing out in the open. I don't think that would be too good for him. I think he's going to move up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go there. That is him moved. Down to 4 impulse points. Germans have nothing. Back to the Americans. Yeah, I think Sergeant Barnes is just going to go up here and 1, 2, 3, 4 catch up to his other squad. Down to 3 impulse points. Germans do nothing. Okay, Americans. I think they're just going to move this 2 to 3. Move in there. Down to 2 impulse points. Germans do nothing. Back to the Americans. Okay, they probably should shoot. No, they can't shoot into the melee, so we're going to have to fire over here. Oh, they've moved. Okay, they've got 2. So let's just have them shoot. They've got a 5. And they are half firepower, so they've got a 2, so 1. So they've got a 6 firepower against a 3. They have to use because they'll be shooting at the squad. They've got a 3 and a 4 because they're in the building. So a 6 against 4, so that's a +2. They will be used. And if both of them fire, we may just have one of them fire and not waste the firepower. Because they only get 1. Yeah, we're going to do that. Just a 5. So a 5, that just uses 1, so it takes another 1. A 5 against 4. So +1. +1 column. No leader. 4 on the +1 probably does not much. It might. Nope. 4 on the +1 does nothing. So they have 1 left. I think these guys are going to shoot. They've got a 5 with a +1 for the leader against a 4. So they got a +1 with a +1 die roll modifier. It's okay. +1 with the +1 die roll modifier. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. 10, 11. No, I'm sorry, I was looking the wrong color. No, that's just 2, 3. A 3 on a +1, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be worthless. Yes, it is. So they are used, and that is the last impulse point. Okay, so that takes us through turn 3. The end of turn 3 there. And we're going to, let's see. So now we have the melee phase. Okay, melee. Basically, let's just get everybody laid out here. Basically, what happens is all of the attack is added together, and all the defense is added together, and then so you'd have leaders are 1, both attack and defense. So that's 1. That's 4. So that's a total of 5, 6, 7. So they have a 7 attack against a 4 defense. Plus you get +2 for melee. So basically they have a 9 against a 4. So the Germans are at a +5. The Americans have 2, 4 against 4, 5. Right? 2, 4, yeah, against 5. So they are at a -1. The Germans are at a +5. And I'm so sorry. Sitting there explaining all that, and the camera's not even on. Okay, so we got them lined up. So you add up, again, add up all the attacks. 4, 5, 6, 7, +2 for melee is 9 against a 4 defense. So +5 for the Germans. And then they have a 2, a 4, and again, they get the +2 also melee. So they got a 6 against a 4. So I did that wrong in the first place. So +2 column, +5 column. And the attacks are against each unit here. Okay, so +2 for green, +5 for blue. So we have a 4 on the +2 and a 4 on the +5. Well, that's easy enough. A 4 on the +2 is nothing, and a 4 on the +5 is a shaken. Okay, so what we have to do, roll for the Americans and see if they pass their shaking roll. They do. So that melee will continue in the next round. Now, melees can be reinforced. Some games allow that, some don't. This one does. So these guys that are right here will be able to move in there, and maybe even these guys if they don't get shot at. Okay. That means it's time to quit because the camera's going out. Okay, so again, these guys could reinforce. And like I said, maybe these guys can too if they don't get shot at from here. Over here, it's going to be a mess. I mean, these poor guys aren't going to be able to hold out. So that's the end of that one. So we will be when we return, we'll be moving to turn 3. Right? Did 7, 6, 5, yep. We're starting on turn 3. Okay, that should do it for this go around. I appreciate y'all joining me. Please let me know if I made any mistakes and try to correct them later. Appreciate you joining me. We will see you soon, folks. Thanks. Bye-bye.